What's up, boxing fans? Well, another terrific fight comes on October 5 when Vladimir Dr. Steelhammer Klitschko defends his titles against Alexander Povetkin. Well, everybody knows that Vladimir is an extraordinary fighter. He has 63 fights, 6 of them victories, 51 of them by KO, and he has 3 losses. Well, I must confess that the heavyweight division is not my favorite. I mean, it is okay to watch it once in a while, but it is usually hard to find in it that kind of beautiful art of boxing, which you can find in light or middleweight divisions. Heavyweight boxers are a bit too heavy, too lumbering, and a bit too clumsy, so they lack the elegance, this elegance to show boxing as the art. Excuse me. I must note that this kind of art in the heavy division only I saw personally, that's what I can notice and I remember 2 times. First time it was performed by Muhammad Ali on May 25, 1965, when he knocked out Sonny Liston with that so-called famous phantom punch. It was a straight right punch thrown by Ali over Liston's left hand, which looked like nothing, but it was very small, very short and very fast. In fact, it was so fast and so small that people who were sitting in the first rows by the ring, they failed to see it. So they suspected that Sonny Liston was paid money to take the fall. that's how good and slick that punch was. But it's a beauty, I must not watch many fights, just that one particular fight, which was only 1 round, over and over again. Well, second similarly artistic punch was delivered by Vladimir Klitschko in the 12th round of his fight versus Eddie Chambers. It was in March 2010, which is about 3.5 years ago. It was Wlad's signature left hook, and it was also to look very small and fast, but it was very efficient in a deliberate and timely manner, which put Chambers to sleep about 10 seconds before the end of the fight. Well, now Povetkin. Povetkin established himself very well. He is undefeated. Out of his 26 victories, 18 he achieved by knockout. And the best way to judge a boxer is by his last performances in his last fights. Povetkin was his last fight when he dominated a Polish fighter by the name Wlad. It's not the best, but very decent boxer. And he dominated him, and he dismantled him, and he knocked him out in the 3rd round. Povetkin has good power in his both hands. He can take you out with left or right, that doesn't matter. At times he seems though tired by the late rounds. I don't believe he has a stamina problem. I think it's mostly he punches himself out. But he's supremely tough. And even when being tired, he still keeps fighting tenaciously like a real Russian. He never surrenders. And I must say that one of the most significant victories in his resume, in Povetkin's resume, is his victory over Chris Bird. Chris Bird is a very skilled fighter. In fact, I think about Chris Bird of him as both. He's both Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones of the heavyweight division. He's slick and he's crafty. Besides, he's a lefty. He's the slickest lefty of the heavyweight division of all times. At least I never saw a lefty in the heavyweight division so good, so slick as Chris Bird. So beating Chris Bird, Povetkin attested that he is a real force in the heavyweight division. And by the way, Wlad also fought Chris Bird twice with the same result, so you can measure Wlad and Povetkin's performances against Bird. Now, what Povetkin does need to do in order to win this fight? Well, he needs to be very active and not wait for Wlad to initiate the attack, but he must begin the attacks by himself. He needs to take advantage of him being a smaller man and impose on Wlad the game of speed, trying to be speedier than Wlad, and that's why he might have an advantage. He needs to make a lot of lateral movements, step to the left and right, in order to avoid Wlad's straight punches, and he needs to move his head a lot and duck and block in order to avoid Wlad's jabs, and especially that lethal left hook. It is important for Povetkin to survive the first half of the fight in hope that Wlad, being bigger guy who spends more energy while moving around and being a little bit older, that he will get tired in a later round. So again, Povetkin can take advantage of that if he can. He also needs to hit the body in order to soften Wlad down and to make him less dangerous. He needs to time Wlad's jabs and counter with his own right crosses, and also he can throw his own jabs in response in countering Wlad's jabs by ducking and throwing simultaneously, basically performing 2 or even 3 motions: ducking, stepping to the side, and throwing punch at the same time. 3 motions in one, and letting the Wlad's jab flowing, above his head. And once he landed something here, he must immediately go into counterattack and throw his punches in bunches and in combos, and hopefully those combos will confuse or even hurt Wlad, giving Povetkin a chance to develop his attack and hopefully become victorious. Now, what Wlad needs to do in order to win this fight? Well, being him, I would chop Povetkin with my signature jabs, using my jab as a tool to keep Povetkin at the distance, at the right distance, and preparing him for a straight right, followed by the left hook. Boo-boo! I would also alternate my jabs with small but quick and accurate left hooks. Or should I say, I would turn my jabs into left hooks, something like this. Throw 1, 2, 3 jabs, and then suddenly one of the jabs turn into my left hook. Boo-boo! 1, 2, 3, boo! And trying to land it behind Povetkin's gloves, which would be a very unexpected and fast and dangerous weapon, which alone can knock Povetkin out. So that's what they need to win. But can Povetkin actually win whatever he does this fight? Well, yes, I guess he can, but only in case if his new trainer, Kostya Tszyu, will do something very special to make Povetkin to win. So, what's so special Tszyu can do? Well, let's think for a moment. Tszyu comes from Australia now, right? So, what's so special about Australia? Here it is, a boomerang! So, Kostya Tszyu must bring with him a boomerang, and it should be something like this, except made out of the plastic, something like transparent that people couldn't see. And at the very moment when Wlad will be busy you're beating the hell out of Povetkin, Kostadze would, take a moment and throw this weapon, a boomerang, and knock Wlad out cold. That's the way, and possibly the only way, for Povetkin to win. So, but if Dzu forgets his boomerang, then Povetkin has little to no chance. Now Wlad, can he win? Yeah, again, if Dzu forgets to bring this, then he surely wins this fight. Most likely by knocking Povetkin out somewhere between rounds 7 and 9. But hey, whatever happens, it's gonna be a terrific fight to watch. Pew-pew!